Hey guys, welcome to the Thoughtful Tinker. I'm Dee, and today I'm going to be going over my design for installing 4-inch fog lights, typically the ones you find on the Jeep Wranglers, on an H2, using the housings that I designed for this. This is actually version 2 of my designs, and that's based off of taking user feedback and my own observations about what works, what doesn't. So a couple of the things that were changed between this version and the last, the adjustments, because the 4-inch ones have adjustment screws on the back. My last version had the adjustment bracket built into it, and one thing that I learned was not all the manufacturers have their adjustment tabs on the same side. Some mounted on the same side as the power cord. Some of the lights are, they're just designed the opposite direction. And so with my old design, there were times where you might have been forced to basically mount the lights upside down, which is less than ideal. The second change that I made is, again, difference in manufacturers. The width of the pivot points on the lights have been slightly different on some of them. And so some of them may not have fit or maybe have been too loose. So now we can fit up to a 93 millimeter width on these, down to, I think it's a 91 or 90 millimeter. I can't remember which it is. But the mounting points in my housings flex a little bit more to give a little bit more room. So we shouldn't have any more issues there. Now there are some of the ultra cheap fog lights, and you can tell the difference in quality on these. But these pivot points are, I believe, 98 millimeter, really wide. And with how cheap these are and the reviews that I've seen on them online from, Jeep owners and others, they don't last very long. They are very cheap. You can tell the weight difference in them. You can tell just by looking at them. So, I mean, these are the ones that usually come in kits, like with the 7-inch headlights and the 4-inch fog lights, and they're like $60 for the entire kit. And even the headlights are super thin. So I would recommend staying away from those ones. Check the reviews on the lights, make sure you're getting good ones, good quality ones, and it shouldn't be an issue. So let's take a look at what comes in the box, and then what tools you're going to need to actually get these installed. Alright, so in the box we've got some instructions, which I'll actually be going along with right here, so it's same steps you're going to use. We've got the 2 housings with faceplates. These are the adjustment brackets. And then we've got some hardware in here as well. Okay. So, the C&D hardware, those are 1/4-inch hex head cap screws and nuts. The E, we've got number 8 by 3/4 stainless steel screws. And then these are 3D printed bolt keepers that help with the installation, keeping the bolts in place. So, first things first, we're going to take 2 of the bolts and 2 of the nuts here, and we're going to put the 2 bolts through the housing. And then we're just going to hold them in place for right now with the nuts. oh yes, tools and stuff you're gonna need. A little bit of super glue, screwdriver, Phillips head, obviously for these screws, and then whatever bit you need for your adjustment screw on the fog lights themselves, and then a pair of side cutters. We'll go over that in a second as well. So, bolts, nuts installed. Going to use these bolt keepers. And we're going to take a little bit of super glue, and I'm going to go right on the inside here, just on one of these corners. If I can get the super glue out, come on. I think I'm getting a little low. All right. All right, and we're just going to take these bolt keepers, slide them right in here. There we go. All right, just make sure they're pressed all the way down against the top of that bolt. All right, then we'll just set this aside while that glue cures for a minute. And let's take a look at, take a look at the fog light. So I'm going to use whatever bit you need. Thought I had it. Luckily I don't have it in there that tight. All right, so we're going to take this screw out with the spring. You will need this later. I'll show you what to do with it. And then you need to get this light out of the housing that it comes in. So easiest way I found, put a little bit of pressure top and bottom, usually slides right out. And we won't need that anymore. All right, so now the housing on the Hummers. So the way you're looking at it, the way you guys are looking at it right now, this is going to be the top, this is going to be the bottom. This cutout on both sides of the Hummer faces on the left side, passenger side. So make sure, you know, this one's got the DOT markings at the top here, so this is the top of the light. Feed the wire through there, and then just align your pivot points inside the mounting tabs. And it clips right into place right there. There we go. All right. All right, snaps into place. And then we're going to flip that over. And now that these should be glued in place, we'll get these nuts back off here. And then we'll take the mounting bracket and whichever side, you know, the mounting tab on the light is, we'll mount it right there. Get these back in place to hold it. And I did allow some room to move depending on where exactly, you know, they might have put their hole a little bit closer over here, move the tab, whatever. So you can move this, kind of get it lined up. Now for your spring, you use your side cutters because you can see this distance. In order to fit it on the H2s, you'll see when we get out there, this distance had to be a lot shorter. So these full-length springs are not going to fit in there. So you take your side cutters, cut it in half, which I've done with another one over here. And then get some room there. And we'll just feed the screw through the spring and into, oops, there we go. There. And give me 1 second while I find the bit I need. It's sitting on my other workbench. All right. And we'll get this right in place. All right. So you can see that'll hold pressure on it. And with this being the top, you can see it kind of angles the light down just a little bit. You can make some final adjustments and alignments once you get it installed on the vehicle. Let's see, adjustment screw, bracket, spring. All right, so now we're going to move on to the faceplates. These do not have necessarily an up and down direction. There are locator tabs on here, obviously, that are top and bottom, flippable, whatever. Get them lined up. Sometimes once you get the lights in the housing, it kind of flexes the housing a little bit, so you may have to put a little pressure, and it slides in place. Open our E bag and take out 2 of the screws. Switch back to the Phillips bit. And doesn't take a whole lot of pressure. These are, you know, metal screws going into a plastic housing, so don't reef down on them. They'll you know, you'll strip it right out. All right, and the screws should basically fit, you know, flush, maybe slightly below the faceplate face. All right, so for that, now that that is done, obviously repeat the same steps with the other housing for the other side, and then let's go out to the H2 and get these installed. See how they look. All right, guys, we're out at the H2, and we're gonna get this housing with a 4-inch fog light installed. So as you can see, we are on the driver's side, left side right now, and you can see that cutout in the back of the bumper fascia there. Points towards the passenger side, right side over there. So we're gonna match that side up there. We're gonna feed this housing right in there. Line up the, there we go. Line up the bolts. There we go. And let's get these nuts on there. Trying to do this by feel so my back of my head isn't in the picture. Sorry if you're looking at the back of my head. Nope. Try this one. There we go. Got that started. Grab that one. Dang. Butterfingers today. Yeah, one of the biggest things about this, you know, since these are originally daytime running lights on the H2s, there's not a whole lot of room back here. So trying to work with that, trying to allow adjustments for these fog lights, is a bit tricky. with the constraints of the space. All right, so that is installed. Let's see, you guys can see it pretty good there. All right, and then adjustments. You know, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle. This one, the adjustment screw faces down. You know, it's gonna suck to adjust them, but once you get them adjusted, you shouldn't have to mess with them. If the adjustment screw is on the other side and facing up, it might make it a little bit easier. But still, with the space constraints, there's not a whole lot of options with it. With tightening those nuts down, again, you know, plastic housing, plastic bumper, don't reef down on them. What I do, especially because of the limited space, is I just take a socket in my, you know, between my fingers, throw it on there, and basically tighten it by hand. And that's how I've had on the other side. Here, we'll bring out so you can see. So that's what they look like installed. Fills it out really good. On the other side, you can see over there, I've got a set of my 4.5 inch ones installed, and I've had those in there for about a year, and they've been fine. So there you go, it's installed, looks pretty good, and well, you guys enjoy. Oh, one last thing is, if you're doing fog lights on the H2s, since these are originally daytime running lights, you may, you know, if you're wanting to use them as fog lights, you've got a couple options, you know, either using your headlights, like the halo rings on your headlights, or getting fog lights with the halo rings to wire in for your daytime running lights. That way you've still got your daytime running lights and you can have your fog lights as well. So you can see like the ones over here I've got have the halo on them, and these ones actually, the center lights up red for the daytime running lights, which I think looks pretty cool. Yeah, just a last minute note on those as far as, you know, getting them wired in and whatnot, which is obviously the final step after the installation. So